Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Friday night? It isn't Saturday Night Fever, it's Friday Night Fever, because tonight, let me tell you about disco. Before we get going, though, I'd like to give a very personal shout out and congratulations to a friend of the show, Larry Dobbins, and his esposa on their 9th wedding anniversary, which technically is until tomorrow, but I ain't doing a show tomorrow. So there you go with that. And that being said, please like, please share, please retweet, please notification bell, all the free things you can do that help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm. And we do have super chats. We do have memberships. We love it when you do that because daddy needs a new pair of shoes, if you know what I'm saying. And, turn on your gifted memberships. It tells how to do that there at the bottom of the screen. And if you do that, somebody may gift you a membership and you can get that exclusive members-only content that we do on the weekends. And this is going to be Sunday for sure. I'm not doing one tomorrow. Let's see here. Doc Torn is here with us. He says the Tom Gulley Show is the original inventor of the drum solo. Yes, that was me. I did that. I literally did that. That was a thing that I did. But we are going to talk about disco, and we are going to get to it here very quickly because I don't think I can vamp. It's Friday. You know how I feel about Friday shows. I'm a little more excited about this one because it is about disco, and I did live through the disco craze of the late 70s and early 80s. And, they say punk rock killed disco, and I was really into punk rock. But I got to admit, there was some disco that was really good and still is. But I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you all about it. Nobody get too crazy. Because disco was a thing. It was a big thing. If you've ever seen Saturday Night Fever, and a lot of people have seen Saturday Night Fever, and I recommend the R-rated version because they made a PG version when the R-rated version did well. That's good. But you got to watch Thank God It's Friday. You really got to watch Thank God It's Friday. Oh my God, Doc Torn, right out of the gate, shattering our goal of any amount of money with a $20 donation. Thank you so much, Doc Torn. Says, and now Tom can buy food for supper and a second breakfast. It's my best Cajun accent that I can do. Let me see if I can make the point for you. I'm going to try. I've got this thing loaded up with graphics, right? Well, there you are. There you are. Asking you, Sour. As a matter of fact, I'll even go as far as to, there you are. Doc Torn gets the point for that $20 super chat. Man, Doc Torn, thank you so much. You guys are so generous, and it is very, very, very much appreciated as I march toward, maybe I just do this for a living. Stop laughing. Abracadaver, who is the inspiration for tonight's show on disco. See, sometimes on this show, for those of you who are new, people will say, why don't you do a show about this? And I go, oh, yeah, really? You gonna dare me? And then the very next night, I'll do a show about whatever they said. But let's not go crazy. I still haven't done the show on herpes, which, coincidentally, might be a good companion show to disco because people were hooking up during the disco era like you can't imagine. Abracadabra says Kiss would never make a disco album. No, but they would take off the makeup and wear suits, which they did one time. Oh, by the way, okay, I'd done another special background. You know, I do a special themed background for most of these shows. Here you go. This one, I'm hiding one of the best parts of it with my 6'5". Hold on. Yes, the disco ball. The disco ball. I'll show you another disco ball in a minute. Don't worry. We might as well get into this. Let me tell you about disco, okay? So disco is like a genre. Very important to use French for reasons I'll tell you about in a minute. of dance music, and it was really like its own culture. Some would say a subculture. No, I think culture. It was a culture. Here's a guy that danced to some disco in his day. There's the Wolf. People saying hi. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet, as verified by independent sources. Anyway, it kind of started in the late 60s, but not really. Don't buy that. Disco, four on the floor, beats, syncopated bass lines, string sections, brass, horns, electric piano synthesizers, electric rhythm guitars. But here's the thing, the history of disco. Discotheques, with even an accent over the takes, as a place to go and dance, basically started as a French thing from France, which right there, a lot of people aren't going to like it. But it was brought over here where it became a big thing, right? With the opening of, also French, Le Club. Le Club. Which in French, for those of you who are not multilingual like myself, means the club. The club. And it was a nightclub in Manhattan that was started by a French guy, Olivier Coquelin, in the 60s. But it didn't really get going for a long time. I mean, really get going for a long time with Saturday Night Fever mostly. But it was a mixture of music. It was popular among the African American community, Hispanic and Latinos, gay Americans, and Italian Americans in New York City, especially in Brooklyn, which you know if you've watched Saturday Night Fever. Also very popular in Philadelphia. And in the mid to late 70s, okay, mid to late 70s, it really took off. And it was kind of a reaction to the 60s counterculture, singer-songwriter, folk music, rock music, you know. And by the way, the big thing about disco, the big thing wasn't just the music, it was the dances. Oh my God, the dances. There was a million dances, the bump, the hustle, the bus stop, the Watergate, a lot of them. Now, disco really took off when it came to the United States. And there was a bunch of artists that were at the forefront of the disco music, such as the Bee Gees, who are all over that Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, which was, by the way, one of the most popular selling albums of all time for a long time. It's still way up there. More than a woman to me. Bee Gees, very high falsetto. But, you know, the Bee Gees didn't start out that way. The Bee Gees kind of went that way. Another group very popular in the disco was ABBA. As if you're from the East Coast, you pronounce it ABBA. If you're from other places, you pronounce it ABBA. This is to me the singular most disco artist of all time. To me, I'm not gonna, argue with anybody about this. This is Donna Summer. She was to me the queen of disco. And if you've seen Saturday Night Fever, that's great. That's great. Well done. But you gotta watch Thank God It's Friday. Thank God It's Friday. I have it on Blu-ray. Love that movie. And very, very, very disco. Another disco artist who I think single-handedly is responsible for, I would say, 90% of the white American female karaoke is Gloria Gaynor. And Gloria Gaynor is very important to this show and this episode, because when Abracadaver dared me, he didn't really dare me, but when it came to the idea of doing a show about disco, I have to tell you, I had some concerns. At first, I was afraid. I was petrified. Kept thinking, by my side. I spent so many nights thinking how you done me wrong that I grew strong and I learned how to get along, but now I'm back from outer space. Anyway, That's Gloria Gaynor. She also a very, very, very big disco artist. Others were the Jacksons, not the Jackson 5, not Michael Jackson, but the Jacksons. Michael Jackson himself. Earth, Wind, and Fire was huge. Rick James. Average White Band, which is a bunch of guys from Scotland. Listen to some Average White Band. And I have all of their stuff too. It's incredible. Shaka Khan, everybody Shaka Khan. KC and the Sunshine Band, who were another very, very disco-defining group. Thelma Houston, Sister Sledge, Sylvester. Oh my God, Sylvester. The Tramps. The funk was flaming, out of control. I heard somebody say, "Burn, baby, burn." It's a disco inferno. Barry White was in there. Diana Ross was in there. Kool and the Gang was in there. And yes, the Village People. So by the late 1970s, almost every city of note in all the major cities certainly had thriving, exploding disco clubs. And that's when the whole DJ thing began. You know, you guys go out now, you kids go out and do the DJ thing. That started with disco. Clubs like Studio 54, we've done a whole show on them, were popular venues for celebrities. And the people who went to these things wore extravagant and in some cases embarrassing outfits. Inexpensive outfits, loose pants, flowing pants, dresses for ease of movement. Also a very large drug subculture in the disco scene. A lot of drugs being done. A lot of the cocaine being done in disco. Now, this photo that I'm showing you currently is a photo from the day, authentic photo from the day of disco. Now, but you have to put this in perspective, because if it looks weird, if it looks kind of, what? This is a disco in Germany. So when you factor Germany into anything, it gets a little weird. It does get a little weird. Flashing lights were big for disco, as you can see behind me, and as you can also see here, that is actually a dance floor. The floors were lit up and had flashing, moving colors and things of that nature. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Quaaludes also huge in disco. So much so that they were nicknamed Disco Biscuits. Disco clubs also were heavily associated with promiscuity, hooking up, big time. And I mentioned Saturday Night Fever and Thank God It's Friday as movies that not only were a reflection of how popular disco had become, but also made it even more popular because of the popularity of the films. Now, I can tell you this. We're going to get into deep. I'm even going to put a different photo up here. There's your disco ball that I promised you earlier while I read some of your chats. And then I'm going to tell you a personal story I probably shouldn't repeat. For my own self-esteem, let's see. I thought it was a Rubik's Cube, said the wolf about the thing above me. Yeah, it's kind of. Jay Bizzle is here. Hey, Jay Bizzle, I want you to tell Larry Dobbins I not only put in the chat at the start of the show during the opening, but also announced at the very top of the show the 9th anniversary for Larry Dobbins and his esposa. The wolf says, chips, dig the splits, and the long slide. Yes. Terry Nee. Welcome, Terry Nee. Good to see you. The Spinners. Oh, yeah, they were big in disco. Doc says, is Barry White? Is Jack Black? I don't know. Abracadabra said, how bad did these clubs smell? Actually, Abracadabra, the clubs were very, very nice. They were lavish. They were not nasty. None of the ones I went to were nasty. Now, I went to some clubs that called themselves discos. They were just a regular club that, Yeah, they might have been kind of crappy, but the ones I went to were really very, very nice. That was the thing about disco. It was upscale. Disco was not a low-end thing. Oh, God. Thank you so much, StreamYard, for your usual, I click on something and 9 things then get loaded in. Why does StreamYard suck? Anyway, Coach Mike Rodick says, I hated disco, but I thought Shaka Khan was hotter than a $2 pistol in 1986. Wasn't she, though? Man, she was. People saying hi. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet. Is verified by the independent sources. Terry Nee says, that's me. Terry, is this you? Is that you, Terry? Were you in Germany? People saying hi. Polyester and Coke. Yes, Gene 1313. You were there. Nice to know. Doc says ease of movement. Yeah, that's why the dresses was loose. People saying hi. 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 Terry Nee saying hi. So there's 2 balls on the screen. Well, I'm not good at counting. Coach Mike Rodick says, good evening, chat. Oh, hey, Tom. Hello, Coach Mike Rodick. Good to see you. Terry Nee says the perfume was women from women was overbearing. Yeah. A lot of people in disco wore way too much cologne and or perfume because they were going to be dancing and sweating. And then also a lot of open-necked fashion. A lot of things with open necks. Here was a big song back in the day. Remember this song? Sold over 30,000 copies a day. It says going high, sky high with sales and airplay in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Baltimore, Washington, Atlanta, Cleveland. So, yeah, it was the Silver Convention. Fly, Robin, fly. That's a terrible disco song. I'm sorry. It's just a terrible disco song. Very terrible. So disco, like, as a thing, started declining following something we have already done a show on. That's Disco Demolition Night. And it really sharply declined. When it went fast. It remained popular in Europe because, of course, and India and the Middle East, and it became an influence in EDM, electronic dance music, house music, hip hop, new wave dance. But it's had some revivals. We're not going to talk about those. We don't care about all those. I mentioned that disco is short for discotheque, a discotheque, and really. It kind of started in the 40s, but it really became kind of standard in Paris or in France in the 60s. Didn't get over here until the mid-70s and become a thing. The Oxford Dictionary defines discotheque as a dance hall, nightclub, or similar venue where recorded music is played for dancing, typically equipped with a large dance floor, an elaborate system of flashing colored lights, and a powerful amplified sound system. So there you go. Yes. In the summer of 64, a short sleeveless dress called the discotheque dress was briefly popular in the United States. And then that just kind of got, used a lot over here. I could get into the production of it, but you know what disco sounds like. There's really no reason to even talk about the production because everybody knows what disco sounds like. Terry Nee says, my collar went to the edge of my shoulder. Yeah, there was airplane collars were popular with disco. The Wolf says, damn, autocorrect. I meant chicks dig the long slide and the splits. Yes. Doc says, this makes me feel young. Terry Nee said, did Indiana guys wear clogs? We wore what we called elevator shoes. Those may have indeed been called clogs elsewhere, but they were shoes with these huge heels, and even the front part of the shoe would be that thick as well. They were really impossible to dance with. Oh, I was going to tell an embarrassing story from my youth. Here, let me hide my face. So, the year was 1976. or 7. And I was in junior high. And in junior high school, I don't know what your phys ed classes were like, but there was a dance component to phys ed. There would be, in Indiana, and I think the Wolf will back me up on this, we had to do square dancing, okay? I think it was an attempt to socialize, junior high school kids and high school kids to being with girls and asking for dance and all that stuff. And then we also, because of the time we were living in, had to do disco. Now, at my school, in order to avoid embarrassment and shame, they'd make everybody line up, all the guys on one side, all the girls on one side, and then you just got the partner that was directly across from you. Which, if you remember the dynamics of, we need another picture up here. Let's just get the Bee Gees. They look friendly. Oh, let's get the ABBA up here because there's guys and girls. The dynamics of junior high school. You had the cool kids, and normally they were the more attractive people, right? The cheerleaders, the sports stars. And then you had the mid-range people, the everyday, the rest of us kind of thing. And then you had sort of the social outcasts who normally were not that attractive, which created kind of a lottery of who's going to get who. Now, occasionally, people would just pair up with the right sort of person and everything would be fine. Once in a while, if you were quick about it, you could switch. If you were with a gal and she was going steady with a guy and you were right next to him after they got paired off, you could go, hey, switch, let's go switch. You can dance with your girlfriend, whatever. But also occasionally, let's take the worst case scenario first. You would get paired up with one of the people that nobody wanted to be paired up with. I'm not going to describe them. That would be cruel. But these are people that had trouble walking sometimes. Maybe they weren't going to be a good dance partner. And, of course, they were thrilled to be with you, because they just won the lottery. However, and I'm telling this mostly for the Wolf. Mostly for the Wolf. When I was in high school, so I think it was my sophomore or junior year in high school, we get paired up. And it's one of the greatest days of my life because I knew this person and I was friendly with this person. At my school, which was a suburban, very good at sports, a little bit upscale school, Wolf can describe it however he would like. He knows where I went to high school. And we had, people in the cool kids club that were cheerleaders and stuff that were very snobby and cliquish. And I don't know if it was this way at your high school or not, but there was always a couple in the cool kids club that were just cool. They were really cool. They didn't care if you weren't one of the cool kids. They were just awesome. And I was, believe it or not, in high school, I was funny. And I was also smart. Was one of the smart kids. And even though I was physically unattractive, I was good at sports. And so I kind of got along with all the groups, but I wasn't part of them. And I got paired up during the disco phase with, and I'm not going to say her whole name and dox her, but her first name was Mitzi. And she was one of the cheerleaders, and she was gorgeous, but she was also really friendly. And I got to disco with that person. It was a big deal, I'm telling you. But the point I'm getting to here, and this is kind of the funny point, is that I can put my face on camera now. Our gym teachers had to demonstrate. And the gym teachers that we had weren't older people. They were younger people who clearly had been going to the disco themselves. So the girls' gym teacher, who you normally saw in gym teacher stuff, sweats or, coach shorts, and she's wearing skin tight everything, the pant, and the open, and the guy gym teacher had just graduated. He was like a basketball star at a local university, like Butler. Those of you who follow college basketball, he was, And so these were, and they would do the dances for you, and they were super, super good. And I'm going, this isn't the first time that you've anyway, that's how pervasive disco was at the time. It was intense, man. It was a rush. Let me tell you. Let me get through some chats here real quick before I head on a little deeper into this thing. Let's see here. The Wolf says, Terry, I had 3-inch platforms from Flag Brothers in Detroit. Oh my God, Flag Brothers. Non-vlogs though, no clogs. Yeah. Terry Nee says disco roller skating and midnight disco bowling was fun. Then it wasn't. Okay, Terry, I didn't want to show this. I guess I don't. Do I have to show the Germans again? I have to get rid of a photo here to add a photo that I didn't want to show, but I'm going to show. Hold on. It'll take a second because, of course, StreamYard. There we go. And there we go. And I don't tend to like to acknowledge this, but here is a pair of roller disco skates, which to me look just like what we used to call jogging shoes. Look at all the velour on those babies. Doc says, so platform shoes was really a thing? Oh, yes. Terry Nee said, needed a huge comb from our hair. Terry, did you have that like axe handle, those axe handle combs that we all had back then? It's like this part's a comb. This part is a big handle because we had so much hair back then. Parted in the middle, of course. The smelly kid. Yes. Snot is running down their face. Yes. Hello, Jewel of Aquarius. Nice to see you here this evening. The Wolf says, I think Jewel of Aquarius is a frequent panel member over at The Urban Landlord on YouTube, and be over there for great shows like Stanley versus the World and all the rest of the great programming they have over there. The Wolf says, love square dancing in high school with the large racked DePauw swimmer named Dana. We had the best looking teacher's aides. Well, do you think at Carmel we didn't have hot people? Please. Wolf says they were with the brothers, Doc. Let's see here. Were the teachers dating? Well, that was always are they? Could they be? It's all the thing. There's a lot of hormonal activity there. Jewelry, it's snot is running down their nose. Aqualung. Jewel is saying something, y'all. I don't know. It didn't translate whatever emoji that was because StreamYard. Yeah. I don't know why this picture of the Bee Gees is enthralling me so much, but it is. Oh, look, the #1 Billboard. They got the #1 Billboard award there. Well, let me take the banner off for a second so you can see it. Now, we don't want to take the banner off for too long because that'll stifle all those super chats coming in. We'd hate for that to happen. But anyway, yeah. So, like, here are some names of some popular disco venues during the 1970s. Crisco Disco, The Sanctuary, Leviticus, of course, Studio 54. Ooh, Paradise Garage. Great song by Tim Curry called Paradise Garage, about Paradise Garage. And those were in New York. Artemis in Philadelphia. Studio One was the big one in Los Angeles. Dugan's Bistro in Chicago. And The Library in Atlanta. Studio 54, probably the best known one in the world. We've already gone over that whole thing, so we don't have to do that. The Copacabana embraced disco in the 1970s, and of course it was the setting of the Barry Manilow song of the same name. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl. But that was 20 years ago when they used to have a show. Now it's a disco, but not for Lola. Anyway, in Washington, they had the Pier. By 1979, there were about 20,000 discos in the United States. And they were putting them in shopping centers. They were putting them in hotels, in restaurants. The 2001 Club franchises were the most prolific chain in the country. But they're the only ones that could successfully do it. They were the only ones that successfully managed to chain franchise the disco. Mostly probably because of the cocaine. Oh, Jewel said, salute and heart. Well, right back at you, Jewel. Doc says, kids today will never know why they called her Lassie. Not Black Lassie. The Wolf says, the Combs were cake cutters. Yeah, cake cutters, we called them. Yeah. Hay Forks, that was another name I heard for them. We also called them dew axes because they look like an axe. In the disco era, the DJs, that's when remixing started. And they were using reel-to-reel machines. And they'd add in different percussion beats and new sounds and sound drops. That's where inside of a song you'd hear, "It's alive" from Frankenstein or some weird sound. And they'd keep repeating it. And that's when those DJ mixers started with the two turntables, all because of disco. And so they can also do things like cut all but the bass line out of a song and then mix the beginning of another song in and do that overlapping stuff. I'm not going to tell you the names of the famous DJs back then because nobody cares. Nobody cares. Now, in the very early years of disco, and doggone it, I should have left the Germans up. Why did I have to show this? Now I can't put the Germans back up. The disco was freestyle. It was very freestyle. You just did what you wanted to do. But then dance steps started. And not only dance steps between two people, but line dancing of disco was also very, very popular. That's the bump, the penguin, the boogaloo, the Watergate, and of course, the robot. The robot started. Also, the hustle was a big, big dance, and it was stylized, sophisticated, and very sexual. It was very sexual. They had variations, the Brooklyn hustle, the New York hustle, the Latin hustle, and there were disco dance competitions, which, of course, is a major plot point in Saturday Night Fever. And it's also, thank God it's Friday, another major plot device of that show. I am Leatherman. Anyway, the dance competitions were a big, big thing. And that spawned the birth of dance schools just for disco with touch dancing and the hustle and the cha-cha and everything else. There was a TV show in Chicago called Step by Step, which was basically a show that taught you how to dance the disco. There were actually dance troupes for it. It just wasn't, we got some more chats to read. Let's put Donna Summer up there. She's one of the stars of Thank God It's Friday, which I'm probably going to have to watch this weekend now. Oh, I don't have that much more. The Bump and the Macarena, just kidding. The Macarena came later, but the Macarena would have fit right into disco, Jewel. You're right about that. The fashions, glamorous, expensive, extravagant. Women had these sheer flowing dresses, Halston dresses, loose flared pants, tight, revealing clothes, backless halter tops, disco pants, hot pants, body-hugging spandex bodywear, cat suits, if you will. Men wore the shiny polyester shirts, colorful patterns. They wore Pierre Cardin suits, three-piece suits, leisure suits. Jesus. Leisure suits in colors that you would never find in nature, ever. And during the disco era, there was, and you see this in Saturday Night Fever, a lot of grooming, a lot of hair, and women wore glitter makeup, sequins, gold lame clothes that would shimmer under the light. It was a performance, and it was extravagant. It was elaborate. Necklaces and medallions were a big thing back then. I remember when kids started wearing these elaborate necklaces in school, and I'm like, you're a dude. What are you wearing? All right, whatever. Okay. The drug subculture I've mentioned a couple of times, but they needed something to keep them going. Cocaine, or as we called it back in the day, blow. I've never done that. Never had a desire to do that. Amyl nitrate, poppers, and the Quaalude. And the Quaalude was a big deal. Now, I grew up in Indianapolis, as everyone knows, and that's where Eli Lilly is headquartered, and they made the Quaalude. And at my school, you could get Quaaludes for $1, 10 for $10. And that stuff, I don't know why anybody would take it while they're dancing, because you're just immediately, it's awful. The drug culture was big. Because so many people were using it, it kind of made cocaine look like marijuana or speed or whatever, and LSD, all of which were very, very popular in the discos. Discos were usually in places where they could serve booze, and that was consumed heavily. And so a lot of people combined the two. We don't need to talk too much more about the eroticism and sexual liberation of disco. Disco was a getting it on, hooking it up type thing. The songs themselves are all about getting it on and a hook up with somebody. Man, I mean, love to love you, baby. I love to love you, baby. I feel love. I mean, all the songs were just about, stuff. They were often in disco, which, by the way, Motown, big into disco. Keep on Truckin', Boogie Down. These were early hits for disco. But they were often long instrumental introductions for disco, which for radio airplay had often been unpopular. They wanted you to get into that hook as quick as you could. But for disco, it was a way to sort of ramp up, maybe cool down from the song before, or just get you into the mood of the disco song. We'll get into some of the songs here in just a second. Doc says, people saying hi, and he's spelled hi, H-I-G-H. Doc says, which bump do you mean, the dance or the hit of coke? And Terry Nee, wise old Terry Nee. Doc, both were popular. You are correct, sir. Very popular. Gene1313 says, everyone was a fire hazard. Yeah, discos probably were a huge fire hazard. They had all sorts of stuff hanging, and Studio 54 famously had the Man in the Moon swinging down. A lot of paper mache, a lot of fiberglass. Yeah, it's probably pretty much of a fire trap. Roger that, Terry Nee. Terry Nee says, whatever it took to get a girl grinding on you. And you learned at a disco. 3 fast songs. You gotta hang. It's like you're on the 3rd song and she's making like maybe she wants to go back around, because you'd be on the outside of the dance floor and then go into the dance floor area. If it was the 3rd song, you had to keep that going so that you could get the slow dance, which was basically just standing up and groping. That's basically what it was. Jules laughing at Terry. He's quite correct. Nick says, Tom and the Gulley Girls hit single, Love to Love You, Baby. Yeah. 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 More, more, more. How do you like it? How do you like it? More, more, more. In Germany, it was chocolate und Pervertin. There was much Pervertin for the disco dances. Oh, my grandfather gave me this. He used to be in the Luftwaffe. I think it's still good. Doc says, was it always a girl after you had that German chocolate? Yeah, pretty much always a girl. I can't speak for anyone else, but I was a girl. Parliament, Sly and the Family Stone, The Temptations. And now Curtis Mayfield and Isaac Hayes, whether they were trying to or not, started to get into that disco feel with Superfly. Gonna make your fortune by and by. If you lose, won't even question why. And the theme from Shaft, just talking about, they say that Shaft is one bad mother. Hush your mouth. Just talking about Shaft, and we can dig it. So the theme from Shaft is often regarded as an early disco song. The Philadelphia Soul and New York Soul kind of scene, one of them I'm going to mention here in a second. I love it. Love Train by the OJs, The Love I Lost by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, and then TSOP, The Sound of Philadelphia by MFSB, excuse me. Vocals by the 3 Degrees, but the sound of I mean, The Sound of Philadelphia, that's a good tune. That's the only thing about Philadelphia I really like, other than the Liberty Bell. Jungle Fever by the Chakachas. Sol Macasso, The Night by the oh, what a night. Yeah. Oh, Love's Theme by Love Unlimited, conducted by Barry White. Oh, boy. Rock Your Baby by George McCrae. Oh, man. Do it. Do it. Do it till you're satisfied, whatever it is, by BT Express in 1974. Even Elvis with If You Talk in Your Sleep in 1974. There were certain record labels. Casablanca was a big one, a big record label for disco. A big record label. So a lot of stuff. Now, the Hughes Corporation with Rock the Boat, first #1 single and million seller, was one of the early disco songs to reach #1. That same year, we had Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas, and the long dance version of that was a very, very, very popular song. I already told you about Rock Your Baby. Gloria Gaynor was a remake of Never Can Say Goodbye. Oh boy, but in 1978, Gaynor's #1 disco song was I Will Survive, which was this huge, and that was another thing about disco. There was a lot of songs about female strength and like independence. Was another thing about some disco songs. Never Can Say Goodbye, Gloria Gaynor had a hit with. She had a hit with a disco version of Reach Out and I'll Be There. Let me see. What else do we have? Tangerine. Oh, my God. The disco version of Tangerine. If you want to know the bad side of disco, listen to the disco version of Tangerine. It's not... It's a song, actually, from 1941, but they made a disco version of it. And no. Van McCoy and the Hustle. Massive. Do the hustle. Boop, 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 doo, 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 doo. Joe Tex. 1977, Ain't Gonna Bump No More with No Big Fat Woman. Yeah. Barry White's First, Last, Everything. LaBelle, Lady Marmalade, or Marmalade, as it said in the song. Disco Tex and the Sexolettes Get Dancin', which was kind of a novelty song, like Rick Dees with Disco Duck. Earth, Wind, and Fire was Shining Star. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Shining Star. Very first 45 I bought. I bought two at the same time. I bought that one and Benny and the Jets by Elton John, but I did buy Shining Star. Jewel says some 90s grunge band did a remake of I Will Survive. It was awful. It had to be awful. Yep, I'm feeling really young. You should listen to some of these tunes, man. I'm telling you. Just take a little time. Silver Conventions, Fly, Robin, Fly. We've already mentioned that one. Get Up and Boogie. Oh, my God. That was another Silver Convention song. Vicky Sue Robinson's Turn the Beat Around. Love to hear percussion. And I've already covered More, More, More by the Andrea True Connection. By the way, Andrea True was a former pornographic actress during the golden age of pornography. Yes, so she had all that, she had all that promiscuity down before disco. A gentleman by the name of Harry Wayne Casey. Most of you probably don't know who he is, unless I tell you that he was KC of KC and the Sunshine Band. And although my gal, Donna Summer, is probably emblematic of disco, Casey and the Sunshine Band were probably the band whose sound was very defining of the disco era. Get Down Tonight, that's the way, I like it, shake, 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 shake your booty, and I'm your boogeyman, turn me on, boogie shoes, I want my boogie shoes, and keep it calm and love. They had a string of huge disco hits, did KC and the Sunshine Band. There you go. There were certain producers that were popular. There was a huge hit by the band Rolls Royce, who I love. The whole album soundtrack to Car Wash from 1976, sort of a vignette-based ensemble cast, but working at the car wash. Oh yeah, that was huge. And Diana Ross got into it, and she didn't have to. She was, she didn't have to, but man, she got into it with Upside Down. Boy, You Turn Me and I'm Coming Out and Love Hangover and all that stuff. Marvin Gaye released Got to Give It Up, despite his extreme dislike of disco. He went ahead and did it anyway. He released the disco single Sir Duke did Stevie Wonder in 1977. Smokey Robinson left the Miracles in 1972, and he had Quiet Storm. His backup group, the Miracles, did Love Machine, which was awesome. Eddie Kendrick's Keep on Truckin'. Let me see. Don't Leave Me This Way by Harold and the Blue Motes. Oh, God. Don't leave me this way. And then you start to get into the 80s with Rick James, Super Freak, and lots of other stuff. A lot of Motown solo artists went disco, that had been that Motown sound without even missing a beat. Kiki Dee was the white British singer, the first one to sign with Motown in the U.S., and she had a bunch of hit singles in disco, pairing up with a disco single with Elton John, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Many Motown groups that left the record label charted with disco songs. Jackson 5 with I Want You Back, ABC, those got remixed. And even the disco song Dancing Machine. Shake Your Booty to the Ground. The Isley Brothers, who I loves me some Isley Brothers. They had It's a Disco Night, Rock Don't Stop. Let's see, who else here? Oh, God. Aretha Franklin had a hit with the Rubber Band Man. That was remade from somebody else. But anyway, and then the Four Seasons. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, December 1963. Oh, what a night. Late December. remember back in '63. Oh man, a lot of things to read here. I'd like to be on screen with Donna Summer. There's a dream. There's a bucket lister. Let me see here. Funky Bronco says, wow, Kiss. I was made for loving you covered yet? I don't think so. J Bar, who's here from our good friends at the Pod Awful Network. By the way, J Bar, please tell Larry Dobbins at the start of the show in the chats and the very first thing I said on the show tonight, happy 9th anniversary to Larry Dobbins and his esposa. Disco Grandfather, 1977-9 film. Tom, how many living great-great-great-grandchildren do you have? Not as many as you'd think. Is it Disco Grandfather or Disco Godfather? Because Rudy Ray Moore is Disco Godfather. People saying hi. Wolf just saying, hey, let's chill it because, Funky's sober tonight. Steppenwolf even had a disco glitter era. It was weird, although they mainly only dressed disco glitter. Funky Bronco says, I'm sober too, Wolfie, and miserable. Well, if you say sober for long enough, that'll wear off. Doc says, I cannot hear the trumpets after somebody says shake, shake, shake. Yeah, got to be off sometime, Funky. Yeah, you got that right, Wolf. Was Kiss Love Gun considered disco? I don't think so. The Wolf said, do the hustle. But disco would accept you no matter what. And that doesn't mean that a disco DJ wouldn't take Love Gun and put it to a different beat and use it. They would do that. Terry Nee said, my pastor friend said, don't be surprised if you end up with a baby after putting on Barry White when you're alone. What was the thing I used to say? Because I was a DJ at a dance club by this time. It was in the mid-80s. It was maybe like a holdover disco. There's a little disco flavor left in it, but it was a big dance club. And I always used to say, well, if you go home alone, you can't blame Barry White. Barry did his job tonight. Blame yourself. Funky Bronco says, is there a difference between disco and glitter? I don't think so. And there's a lot of glitter in disco. I'll put it that way. The Wolf says, Terry, did that work for your pastor? Well, maybe. The most successful European disco group, by far, it's not even close, was this group. And that's, of course, ABBA. And they were Swedish, but they sang mostly in English and found success with gigantic smash hit songs like Waterloo. How can I remember my Waterloo is my favorite ABBA song. Take a chance on me. Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. Gimme, 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 gimme. A Man After Midnight, Super Trooper, and their signature smash hit, You Are a Dancing Queen, long and lean, only 17. It sounds just like them, doesn't it, with the picture up there? Donna Summer, I'm telling you, to me, she was disco. She was disco. Love to Love You, Baby, and that's prominently featured in Thank God It's Friday. Watch Thank God It's Friday. Number one song on Billboard's top 34 disco songs of all time. And she's got all 6 spots at the top of the list. All 6. She did a huge bit of business with Could It Be Magic. She did I Feel Love. But there's too many Donna Summer songs to even go through. There were some other people in Germany and France that tried to get into it, but it wasn't there. No. And then we go mainstream with the Bee Gees. And the Bee Gees were originally not a disco group. How can you mend a broken heart? How can a loser ever win? They were not a disco group, but boy, once they got a little taste of that disco cash, the Brothers Gibb, that you should be dancing, yeah. Staying alive. You can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Music's loud. The lights are bright. You know what I'm saying. Night Fever. More Than a Woman. More Than a Woman's actually a really good song. Love You Inside Out. Tragedy. When you lose your soul and you got no it's tragedy. Younger brother Andy Gibb did I Just Want to Be Your Everything, Love is Thicker Than Water, and Shadow Dancing. Oh my God, Shadow Dancing. Donna Summer even managed to make a hit multi-million selling disco version of MacArthur Park, which I think Rod McEwen or somebody had. It's basically a poem somebody reads, and MacArthur Park is melting in the rain. Oh God, it's just. But she did Last Dance, Last Chance for Romance tonight. Heaven Knows, looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening. Bad Girls, such a naughty bad girl. Oh, Dim All the Lights. That was a slow song because, you kind of had to get a little bit of a... and then On the Radio, whoa, 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 whoa. Those songs were all top 5. There was a band called Chic that was pretty good. Sylvester was a big disco artist, and the Village People were gigantic. Also, here's some other noteworthy songs, and I'm going to put them up with this because I got to read off this list. Heat Waves, Boogie Nights, Evelyn Champagne Kings, Shame, 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 Shame on You. If You Can't Dance To, Taste of Honey's Boogie Oogie Oogie. Cheryl Lynn's Got to Be Real. Alicia Bridges, I Love the Nightlife. I got to be. Oh my God, Patrick Hernandez is Born to Be Alive. You haven't lived until you've seen some of the videos, the official videos Patrick Hernandez did with Born to Be Alive. Born to Be. They're hilarious. They're really bad special effects. Check one out. Peaches and Herbs, Shake Your Groove Thing. Shake Your Groove Thing. Yeah, yeah. Sister Sledges, We Are Family, also popularized by the 1977 or 79, Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's see here. Ain't No Stopping Us Now by McFadden and Whitehead. Anita Ward's You Can Ring My Bell. Ring my bell, ding dong, ding dong. Kool and the Gang's, well, yes, it's ladies' night and celebration. The Whispers, as the beat goes on. Let's see, Lips Incorporated's Funky Town. I once caught my dad singing Funky Town when he didn't think anybody was listening. Brothers Johnson's Stomp, George Benson's Gimme the Night, and Donna Summer's Sunset People. Now, a ton of non-disco artists managed to get a disco hit because everybody was doing it. You just had to. Rod Stewart, Do You Think I'm Sexy? Pink Floyd, you actually put out a disco-ish version of Another Brick in the Wall, which became their number one selling single in the U.S. and the U.K. Eagles referenced disco in 2 songs, One of These Nights and Disco Strangler. Let's see here. Queen and another one, Bites the Dust, referenced them. Rolling Stones had that disco album with Miscue and Emotional Rescue. A lot of people did. The Kinks did Wish I Could Fly Like Superman. The Who did Eminence Front. J. Giles Band did Comeback. Baby. Kiss. Someone mentioned earlier, I Was Made for Loving You. Yeah, I'm telling you. I am telling you. Barbra Streisand did No More Tears, which is better known as Enough is Enough is Enough. I can't go on without you. Tommy Tucker, Ronnie Millsap, country singer, covered High Heel Sneakers. By Tommy Tucker, for crying out loud. The Ritchie family got involved. Everybody was doing the thing. And we covered the Lawrence Welk Show. Myron Florin, who's the second in command on the Lawrence Welk Show, and the best accordion player in the world, did a song called Disco Accordion. I mean, everybody was doing this. For crying out loud, TV shows had disco songs like the theme from SWAT or Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, you know, fighting for your rights in those platinum tights or neon tights or whatever. The Love Boat had a disco-y thing. The Donahue Show, Chips, The Professionals, Dallas, Kojak. Disco was everywhere. Now, there were parodies. Rick Dees most famously did Disco Duck. Frank Zappa parodied it with Disco Boy. Comedian Bill Cosby in 1977 had an album called Disco Bill that was all parodies of disco. What destroyed it? What destroyed it? Well, Disco Demolition Night. By the way, we've covered that topic here on the Tom Gulley Show. Feel free to go back into the vaults and look at that one. It's there available for you. So there we go. Let's see here. Funky Bronco says ABBA. I'll even put the picture up there for you. Funky, just because you're sober tonight. Their latest album is pretty good too. I did not know they had a latest album. The Wolf says, sorry, the Spinners had Rubber Band Man. I saw them do that one live at DePaul. Yeah, they did it. I don't know whether they were before or after Aretha, but they both did it. And I think the Spinners version, that's the one I remember. Now, for all I know, they're two different songs. But Rubber Band Man, yes, I do remember. I mean, even Leo Sayer with long, tall glasses, for crying out loud. Wait, okay. Didn't Bruce Springsteen do a bit of disco? It pains me to know you're sober and ask that. No, never. Doc Torn says, first ABBA song I heard was Dancing Queen. Years later, I found out it was for the Swedish Queen's birthday. I didn't know that. That's a thing I learned tonight on the Tom Gulley Show. Funky Bronco says, Man for Man's Earth. I already did that one. Covered Blinded by the Light. Was that disco or glitter? Manfred Mann's version, I think it would be more disco, but that's a Springsteen song. You're correct in that regard. But Springsteen's version, pretty different than Manfred Mann's. Funky Bronco says, every good disco band needed a guitar player. They needed a good bass player is what they needed. Terry Nee says, crossover song from disco to rap. Crap, she's rapped too tight. She's a button buster. I've never heard that one. Funky Bronco says, Kiss, I Was Made for Loving You. That was disco. Yes, we've covered that. Doc says, ring my bell. I remember hearing that as a kid. Oh, yeah. You can ring my bell. Ring my bell. Rod Stewart is not sexy at all. Boy, they thought he was at the time, Jewel. Oh, they thought he was at the time. Jewel says, WW, that was my jab. Wonder Woman, that was your thing? Fighting for your rights in satin tights. For the old red, white, and blue. Wonder Woman. Who did Eminence Front? That was The Who. Sometimes people forget. Little known side fact, Eminence Front was the warm-up song for the Ball State University soccer team for a number of years. Let's see here. Julie Aquarius says, great song. It is a great song, isn't it? Just the opening and the we'd get warmed up. First, we would confuse the other team by playing Birdland by Manhattan Transfer because we're the Cardinals. And then there'd be all the other teams. What are they playing? 5,000 years from Birdland, and we're still getting the rhythm. You know. Birdland, we're singing Birdland. Yeah, they'd be, what? What? And then, down. And then they knew they were going to get an ass kicking. Eminence Front came on. How was a snack food part of disco? Chips, I mean. Show chips. California Highway Police. You know, Ponch and the other one, Eric Estrada. No, wait. Eric Estrada was Ponch. The other one was like John Smith or something. It was a terrible name. I didn't. Let's see here. I meant Jam. That was my jam. Yeah, I was a kid. Dr. Scotty Jones. I like that name. That sounds like a DJ name. Back in the day, I'm Dr. Scotty Jones. We're bringing you a hit set of 30 minutes coming up. Let me see. Disco is white funk. Well, average white band, if you look into them, they sound Motown as you can imagine, but they're 5 guys from Scotland. In fact, when they came over here, because people had only heard them, it was kind of like when people had only heard Buddy Holly and the Crickets, they thought that was a black group. Same thing with Average White Band. And people were like, you guys are really? You're the... Captain Beefheart never did any disco. He never sold out, says Funky Bronco. Dr. Scotty Jones. Incidentally, at the same time I was a dance club guy, I also was working in a radio station, and they made me do an on-air shift as a DJ. And I don't like doing record DJing. I had already been a talk show host and stuff, but I went ahead and did it. And as an homage to Dr. Johnny Fever on WKOP, I was Dr. Tom Gulley. But Average White Band had Pick Up the Pieces and Cut the Cake. I need a little piece, a little taste of cream. Cut the cake. They had a lot of good hits. Let me see their discography here. Studio albums, I don't care about that. Live albums, I've got one of their live albums. Compilation albums, who cares? Sure, let's see. Pick Up the Pieces, Cut the Cake. Oh, If I Ever Lose This Heaven, Schoolboy Crush, Cloudy. If I ever lose this, I'm cloudy. Anyway, Average White Band. Good group. From Scotland, from Dundee, Scotland. Average White Band. War, Lowrider. War was kind of disco-y. It really was kind of low rider, ride a little lower. And Why Can't We Be Friends? Phone lines opening soon, 5 shillings a call. Dr. Scotty Jones says, I roller skated as a kid and they all played funk. All they played was funk and disco. Did you have roller skates like these? Now them's some, and there is a movie called Roller Boogie. I mean, that's the name of the darn movie. So that's what I got to tell you about disco. Pretty much punk rock and new wave killed it. It kind of kept going, but it started fast, started strong, dominated everything. I remember when people thought the world was going to come to an end in Indianapolis, Indiana, when they had an all-disco radio station. It was called Kiss 99, and people literally thought the world was coming to an end. It was like, what? Disco? All disco. I mean, they didn't mind having a couple disco songs, right? On a regular station, but all disco? I don't know how deep into this I can get, but if you've ever seen the movie Open Range, there's an actor in Open Range that plays the big dude. He was also in ER, and he played Jerry. The actor's name, I believe, is Adam Ben-Ruby. I think it's Adam Ben-Ruby. His father was a disc jockey in Indianapolis. I think he'd been in the band REO Speedwagon or something like that too. But his father was Adam Smasher. That was his disc jockey name. And he moved from the big rock station that had Bob and Tom and everything on it over to Kiss 99, and it was like, you turncoat disco, Kiss 99, I'll never forget that. Funky Bronco says there was a lot of roller skating scenes in Boogie Nights. Yeah, and there's a movie, Roller Boogie, that stars Linda Blair of The Exorcist, and there's tons of roller skating in that one, obviously. Devil music is taking over, says Jewel. Oh, yeah. Doc Turn says, Tom, you didn't answer my question from earlier. Where did disco? Disco this way, disco that way. That's what people used to say when they were dancing. Disco this way, disco that way. But I remember, man, because it was so, you're a teenager, you're adolescent, you're just a raging wall of hormones, right? And all that's surrounding you in the culture are what they used to call jiggle programming, like Charlie's Angels and Three's Company and all these sort of scantily clad shows. And then the music was all about hooking up and stuff. And then if you went to dance somewhere, we didn't have what would usually be termed sock hops back in the old day. Ours, the big event was called the teen scene. It was the teen scene, and it cost like $5 to get in or something. And then you dance, and when you danced, you were dancing disco. And so you were just charged up, and the girls were wearing the disco clothes, and you were doing your best, and you had the hair, and then the slow songs, and Dance Fever, the Solid Gold Dancers. Come on, man. It was you had to be tough back then. You had to be tough to survive in our society. Oh, gosh. I know it's Friday night, but I'll open the phone lines. They're open right now, 972-994-6822. I do not have much time, though. I got to get out of here. But if somebody wants to call in real fast, great. If not, we're going to shut this baby down. Funky Bronco says, I'm not sure if Men Without Hats was disco. No. That was definitely sort of British new wave alternative. Dun, 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 dun. But that being said, Funky Bronco, they would take any song and put it to a disco beat and drop in things. That's where all that started. Now everyone is turning into Mr. Roper. Safety dance, yes, the safety dance. Well, Funky Bronco, you can dance if you want to. You can leave your world behind. And if friends don't dance, friends behind. And if friends don't dance, then okay. Dr. Scotty Jones, we got an anonymous call coming in here. Yeah, I get you. Hi, welcome to the Tom Gulley Show. You are on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hello, hey, sir. Old piece of shit I knew, Tom Gulley, round back. There's no story about it. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just not do good voices? Is that your main problem? You're just bad at it? You got something in the background, too, that sounds like poo. But thank you. Just jealous. They can't be part of the group. Terry Nee says, I've been sick since Wednesday. I got, may not go. Sucks. You may not go where? Come on. Oh, wow. He's just upset. I think the safety dance was new wave alternative. Yeah, it was. He's just going to keep calling in. Well, we'll just keep hanging up on you. Give me a head with hair, long, beautiful hair. That call was boring. Get a good call. Yeah. It's just... Hi, did you call to speak with your mother? Okay. Oh, dear. They're just so sad. They're not good at it. Here, let's just see. Could you call back when you get good at this, please?
No.
Okay. No, he's not going to call back when he's good at it. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to get good at it. Just never going to be good at it. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. Here, we'll do this instead. Oh, there we go. Hi, and welcome to the Tom Gulley Show. You're on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Tom.
How's it going?
Hopefully this block... Oh, it's going pretty good, man. Hopefully this blocks that poor attempt at trolling, because that was getting kind of old. I even lost interest in eating popcorn.
Well, if you don't have anything else better to do, you're welcome to call in here and be made to just be ridiculed. That's fine.
I know, but I'm...
Not you. Not you, the guy that was calling in. Yeah. So you've never
yeah.
you've never done any disco dancing?
No, that was way before my time.
What's your big dance? What's your either your big dance or your big song that you dance to?
Well, I'm an '80s baby, so I kind of got caught up in the hair metal.
Oh,
You know, the Quiet Riot. I used to go out with my Twisted Sister.
I gotcha. Did you ever do You ever do the Macarena?
Yes. I'm not proud to say that, but yes.
I mean, I think we all have. I mean, it's just so easy to do. You don't even have to move your feet. Funky Broncos.
Not much. I mean,
Manfred Mann's "Blinded by the Light" is my favorite disco song. But you can do the Macarena standing on line at 7-Eleven.
what's a 7-Eleven?
It's a convenience place. It's a gas station. You go in, you can get sodas and all that stuff. Maybe they don't have it.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe they don't have it down there. I don't know. But
not that I've seen.
Yeah. Well, it's like Quick Trip or Circle K.
Oh, okay. Now you speak my lingo.
Yeah, there we go. Dr. Scotty Jones says, I've never done any of those MTV dances. Funky Broncos, just follow the words in the song. Jewel says you had to do the Macarena at weddings at one point. Yes, the Macarena and the Hokey Pokey. Hey, are there any Cajun dances that we may or may not have heard of as non-Cajuns?
Well, you kind of did cover. You kind of did cover the one when you saying about when you were talking about disco with the hookup culture part of it.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank, but
it's okay. I was at the festival. I was at the festival of Acadian, and I got too close to the dance area, which was under a big like tent top. You know, they got the poles. It's a gazebo or something. Anyway, I could see the dust from the ground of so many people dancing, and I got too close, and this big old Cajun gal, good looking, but it just grabbed me. She was tall, and man, I don't know what dance we were doing, but she was just throwing me around like a rag doll doing some kind of dance.
Ooh, Tom, man, I tell you, when that music starts going, I mean, we get down on the dance floor, them feet moving, good luck stopping.
Jules says strange things are afoot at Circle K. You got that right. You got that right. Anyway,
I don't remember who sings it, but if I remember right, it's the song's called "Louisiana Saturday Night."
Oh yeah, that's it's like a female singer. Isn't it?
No, maybe I don't know.
It's like a country. It's a country song. I think I've heard by a couple of people. Yeah. Louisiana Saturday Night. I've heard that one before.
I want to say Alabama, but I'm not sure.
Hey, it could be. It could be. I've heard the song though, but anyway. Well, hey man, thanks for calling in and blocking. I appreciate it, and thank you so much for your amazing donation. That was very nice of you. I should give you the point again. I don't think I have the picture up anymore though, but hope you have a good weekend.
Oh, I'm gonna try to. I ain't gonna promise nothing, but I'm gonna try.
All right, man. It's always good talking to you. Thanks for being here.
This was fun, Tom. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye-bye. Always good to talk to the Doctorn. Always good to talk. Was it Creedence? I don't think it was Creedence. Louisiana Saturday Night is Jimmy Buffett. How you get your hair on and your feet upright and anything, it might be all right. It's a hopping and a bopping on a Louisiana Saturday night. Yeah. All right, let's see if we've got another person calling in. Hi, and welcome to the Tom Gulley Show. You're on the air. Who am I speaking with?
It's Tim.
Tim, how you doing? What do you have for us tonight?
Not a lot.
Okay, it was good talking to you. Have a great weekend. Thanks for calling in, Tim. I don't know what you want me to say. Oh, you got on the air. You and your other buddy can go high five each other. And I got called in, and I was a jerk. Terry Nee says Jolet Blanc. Let's see. Oh, Tim's calling back in. Hi, welcome to the Tom Gulley Show. You're on the air. Who am I speaking with? Is it Tim?
Yeah, you hung up on
Oh, yeah, I did. Daggone it, Tim. You're contributing so much to the show. It's really a tragedy that we haven't been able to hear more of your powerful intellect. Your powerful intellect and all of the just brilliant things that you have to offer. It's really a shame. Somehow I don't think we'll be hearing from you again, Tim. Let's see. Jules says LMAO. Yeah. I don't believe he's banned me. He's banned me. I don't stand it, man. It's just not cool. You shouldn't be allowed to ban me. He's banning me. That's why. In case you were wondering, that's why. Thanks for all these great reminders, Tom. At that. Thank you. Hey, we had a nice time here with the disco, didn't we? Wasn't it a nice time? Doc Dorn called in. We got to thank Doc Dorn again for his amazing donation of $20. Thank you so much. And thank you guys. Man, if you could like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. We're ending the show. How about one more jerk, okay? One more jerk. All right. Hi, and welcome to the Tom Gulley Show. You're on the air. Please make a fool of yourself. Your computer doesn't even... Oh, he's not going to do it. It's too late. I got you before you did it. I'm sorry. What happened to troll calling? There's no effort made anymore. It's these kids today. In my day, we knew how to troll. Hi, and welcome to Tom Gulley Show. You're on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Tom T. Hall.
Oh, it's not Tom T. Hall. He's dead. Don't disparage the memory of Tom T. Hall on this program. Oh, God. I'll talk to him again. Hi, and welcome to the Tom Gulley Show. You're on the air. Who am I speaking with? Tim, you've called in a couple of times, and Tim, you really haven't, you know what I mean? So, you should probably not call in.
Can I tell you something there, Tom?
No, I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think so. Can you tell me something? See, you just should have told me something. Why are you come on, man. I didn't make you the way you are. You were dumb when you got here. Hi, and welcome to the Tom Gulley Show. You're on the air. Who am I speaking with?
Stop cutting me up.
You didn't tell me who I was speaking with. There's rules, man. I've had these rules for like 20 years. You can't even make up another name. Can't even give me a name. You know. But it's his God-given birthright to call into a show and be a fool. Doesn't Tim have a bridge to troll under? No, clearly not. Clearly not. Hey, you know what, folks? Let's turn the beat around. Got to hear percussion. It's been a great Friday evening, much better than I had anticipated. And with that in mind, I'm looking at that old clock on the wall, and it says, well, like the Reverend Al Green, who also probably had some disco hits, it's time for me to get up on out of here. Now, you do not have to go home, but you can't stay here. No. And I think the only thing left to say is that people just wonder why they're not welcome, and then they demonstrate why, and it's like you don't see the thing that you do. I mean, I know you and your buddies think that makes you cool and tough and a warrior, but it doesn't. Now, if you were good at it, there are plenty of people call in here that make fun of me and do all sorts of things. They're good at it. You're not good at it. You're not good at it. Terrible. This was fun as always. Peace and love to all. Apparently, some people are enjoying themselves. I don't know. Anyway, until next time, We'll see you. Oh, by the way, Monday night on this program, our very special guest star will be none other than Metal Maiden Vicky from Metal Maiden Vicky's Metal Euphoria on SonicAsylumRadio.com tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at SonicAsylumRadio.com. Listen to it. You will love it. Till next time. We'll see you next time. Thank you all for being here. You're awesome.